then you can have access to this session. So in google.com, I've signed into an account that I've already created. And if you have not created an account, you can, when you see the Google webpage, you would go to sign in and or sign up, and it will let you create an account. And a Gmail account is very easy to create. So I'm inside one that I've already made. And this area here, you may hear me refer to it throughout the session, is called the app launcher. I use it and I term it and I nickname it as the waffle. But this is the place where all of your Google apps are located. So within the waffle, you have your YouTube link, your Google Play Store, your Gmail, also Google Voice, several other apps that you can add to your launcher. But we're going to focus on Google Drive. So I'm going to click on Drive. And when I come there, when I go there for the very first time, it's going to give me some information about the storage space that I have. And if you're familiar with cloud storage, or you may have used or heard of Dropbox before, where you can upload files online and then they'll be accessible at any place or at any computer for you to download and for you to add more files. So Google Drive is very similar to that. The great thing about Google Drive is you start off with your free Gmail account with 15 gigs worth of storage. So that's quite a bit of storage space for you to place Word documents, Excel documents, PowerPoints, pictures, PDFs, or any other document that you may have. And within Google Drive, and I'll talk more about this, there are what are called Google applications, which are Google's version of Word, which is Google Docs. And we'll look at what that entails. A Google Doc, which is very similar to what a Word document looks like. You have Google Sheets, which looks a lot like Excel. Google Slides, which looks, of course, like PowerPoint. And we'll also take a look at Google Forms and Google Drawings. But if I go back to my Google Drive, the 15 gigs that you have, if you create documents such as sheets, drives, sheets, slides, or docs, then it does not take away from your storage space. So if you create a document that's Google based, again, a doc, a slide, or a form, then it will continue to, you'll maintain that storage space and it won't take away from it, such as like any other item would. So we're going to explore the interface just briefly, and then we're going to actually interact with some documents so that you get a chance to actually participate and collaborate with me on a couple of documents. So the interface of what Google Drive looks like. Of course, I maintain my waffle here. It will always remain here, and I can always access my profile. Over to the left is an area where I will spend a lot of time as I manage my Google Drive. So the first item is the new button, and this is where you will upload files from your computer or you'll create a new Google document. So to do that, I click on new. I have the option to create a folder, to upload a file, to upload a folder, and also the Google applications, Google Docs, Google Sheets, Slides, and if I toggle down in the menu below, I can go to Forms or I can go to Drawings and create a new document. So under that is My Drive. And when you go into your Google Drive, you'll always enter in the area called My Drive. And this is where all of your files and documents are housed. Shared with me is the area. If anyone has shared a document with you, then this is where they will be located. So these are folders that have been shared with me from another Gmail user that I can go in and I can either, if they've given me the rights to edit the documents, I can edit them, or if it's just, or if I just have the ability to view, I can view the document, and I'll talk more about sharing momentarily. Google Photos, I can upload photos here. As well, I can search things that I've recently viewed. I can star items. I can place a star next to a document, and to make it easy, if I have a lot of documents and I don't want to go through and go through folders to try to find them, I can place a star on it and it will easily be found in the starred area And then I have my trash, where if things I've removed from my Google Drive, they would be in the trash until I permanently remove them. Google Drive does have, in addition to the 15 gigs, you have the option to upgrade your storage, and a storage for unlimited space is $10 a month. There's also one that's $5 a month for 100 gigs, but if you want unlimited storage, it's $10 a month. And that's called Google Apps for Business. Okay. So I'm going to go back to my drive, and these are some documents that I've created within my Google account. So I always like to keep my Google Drive, in the My Drive area, I like to keep it organized. So when I go to my New button, I'm going to create a folder. So if I click on New, click on Folder, it's going to give me the option to create a new folder. And I'm going to call this folder Test Documents. Then I'll click Create, and now I have a new folder. Over to the right, the tools here, I have the option to get a link for my documents, and that's more in the sharing tools or features that Google Drive has that I'll share with you shortly. I can also share them in other ways, such as with another person who has a Gmail account. I can put them in the trash. I can also do the same thing that I would do on any of the documents. I call this my snowman. So I click on the snowman, and I have all of my features, such as creating a new folder, storing documents, renaming folders or documents there. And I can also change the view. The current view is the list view. If I click on the button again, it will put it in, well, this is the list view. If I click on it again, it'll give me the grid view. I have sorting options to sort them from A to Z, or do them in the reverse order. I can also click on details, and it'll show me the activity of what I've done in my drive, and it will always maintain this activity. So if you erase something, or if you need to go back and look at a previous version of what you've edited, you can always go to the details area, and it will give you that information. And then I have my settings over to my right. So I'm going to close that. I want to put all of these documents into my test documents folder. So I'm going to select the first item, and I'm going to drag it up into my test documents folder. Now it has disappeared. It is now located in the test documents area. So let's say I wanted to select multiple and put them in my folder. I can do one of several things. I can either click on the first one and then hold Shift and click on the last document to select them all, or I can unselect them, or I can hold down on my mouse and drag over the documents to select them all. Once they're all selected, I hold down on my mouse or my trackpad and I drag them up. And once the folder is highlighted, I release. Now they will all go into my test documents folder. So this is a great way to keep your Google Drive organized. And so when I click on that folder, my documents are now listed there. So Google Docs, which is similar to Word, which will be the first Google application that we'll take a look at, and all of the documents in Google Drive, they're saved in real time. So never do you have to click the save button, or after so many lines of typing a paper, click save just in case the computer crashes or if the lights go out. It saves in real time. So no matter what computer you go to or whatever happens to your computer, the last place that you were located in your drive, when you go to another computer, you can go back to that same location and your documents will be located there. So, for example, in my Google Doc that I've created as my example, I'm going to show you how you can share and work collaboratively with another person within Google Drive. So this goes into the opening of the opportunity to share. So if I want to share this, which I'll share with the group who are in this class, I can share it in multiple ways. I can highlight it, right click, and I have a sharing option. Or once I click on a document, the sharing option becomes available above the document as well. So I'm going to go back, I'm going to share. I'm going to send you in the chat area a link to this Google document for you to answer and put your response to a question. So to get a link, I click on Get Shareable Link. And once I do that, I'll get several options. The first option by default says that anyone with the link can view. But I want you to be able to do more than just view this document. I like for you to be able to edit it as well. So this can be a way for you to work collaboratively in the workplace with others on one document. And the changes that you make, uh, you can work on the document at the same time as another person, and you can see the changes and updates to the document in real time. So I'm going to change this from anyone with a link can view by clicking on the arrow to anyone with a link can edit. So it will update the link. I can also, in addition to getting a link, if others have uh, Gmail accounts who I want to share this with, I can put their Gmail accounts here and give them the same authority to edit, uh, comment, or view. But if they have the ability to edit, they can comment and view. So I'm going to highlight this link. I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to, in the chat area, send this to everybody who's in the session. So at the bottom of your control panel, if you click on chat, click on that link and see if you're able to answer any of the questions. You don't have to put your name, but just put a response just to let me know that you can answer the question. All right. So thus far, I see a person who has clicked on the link and now they're able to put in their response. And on my screen, I see in real time what their response is. All right. So as you see, there have been two people who have responded to the questions, and they're at different locations, but just by them having the link, then they can go into the question. So to click, so there was someone who asked, where do I click to answer? So if at the bottom of your chat or your control panel, if you click on chat and expand it, there should be a Google link, a Google Docs link there to click, and it will allow you to see the page that you should see on your screen now. And then you'll be able to answer the question. All right. So this is an example of a Google Doc. It looks very similar to Word. You can, if you have Word documents that you'd like to upload into your Google Drive and turn them into Google Docs, that can be done. And that way you can turn a Word document into a Google Doc for you to use collaboratively with others. So if I go back to my drive, and even if I go away from this screen, a person, whoever has the link, can always go into the document as long as the link is active and make updates to the document. And every time I click on a document, it creates a new tab. So when I clicked on this, it created a new tab as the Google Doc. In addition to the Google Doc, Google Sheets is a very intuitive tool that's similar to Excel. So if you're familiar with Excel, being able to put information into cells, also it has the ability for you to incorporate formulas and put in drop menus just like you would, and charts just like you would in an Excel document. So I've created a sample one, and it's in my test documents folder, and it has three columns, one for your real name, one for your nickname, and one for your alter ego name if you have a split or multiple personalities that you have. So, and actually, for the person who inquired about the link, I'm going to resend you the link to the doc. So, there. All right. So I'm going to now share this document to you. So if I go back to my folder where my documents are, just like how I shared the Google Doc, I'm going to share the Google Sheet example to you. So I'm going to highlight the Google Sheet. I can right click on it to get the sharing option, or once it's highlighted, the sharing option is also available at the top. I'm going to click share, click on get shareable link, change it from anyone with the link can view to anyone with a link can edit. Get the link, I'm going to copy it, and then I'm going to paste it in my chat area. So now in the chat area is a link to the Google Sheet. And once you click on the link, if you can put in, if you so choose, you don't have to put in your real name if you don't want to do that. But so I'll start it off. I'll put in my real name. Farmer, nickname. Call me Tim for short. And what is my alter ego? I just put professor. Oh, I'll change it from that to my line name. From when I was pledging the greatest fraternity in the world, Kappa Alpha Psi. So, Carrie, I see you have a question. I'm going to unmute you so you can ask your question. All right, Carrie, what's your question? Carrie, are you there? I see where you've clicked on the hand raise tool, so I was just answering your question. Let's see. Hopefully she can hear me. All right. see Jamie. Jamie, I see you have a question. What's your question, Jamie? So on your end, if you can unmute your microphone, because I've unmuted you on my end. There you go. All right, Jamie. Carrie, can
TMK,
yes, I can hear you now.
I,
Yes.
okay, I can't edit this document. I mean, I see it, but when I try to do anything in it, I can't do anything. I don't
Okay.
understand.
So you have the link,
Yes.
and you clicked on the link, and then, um, for example, on line four, if you double click on line four and see if it'll let you type.
Okay. Okay. I'm on the iPad. Does that make a difference?
If you're on an iPad, hmm, I tell you what, if you're using a mobile device, it may, and this poses a great opportunity for us to explore how it works on a mobile device.
Okay.
It's likely best for you to download the Google applications, the apps. For example,
Okay.
download Drive,
Mm,
Sheets, and Docs.
okay.
And what will happen is when you click on the link, for example, a Google Sheet, it will open up in the Sheets app.
And I did do that, but it still didn't give me an opportunity to. I downloaded the document, the Google Doc. I hadn't done the sheets yet, but I did do the doc.
Okay. So
Okay.
yeah, try Sheets and then let me know to ensure that because it should work that way because sometimes the link on Safari on an iPad
Mm-hmm.
doesn't work the best, but
Okay.
it will work through the app if you have the app on your device.
Okay. All right. I need to add that then.
Okay. And so for the group at large, if you are going to use your Google applications on a mobile device, it works best if you have the apps, and there is an app for each of these tools that you can get from the Google Play Store or from the iTunes Store. All right. Thank you, Carrie, for that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right. James, are you still there? I see where you still have your hand up, but I can't hear you. So, but I'll keep moving, and then if you still have a question, just type it, and then I will allow your audio to be unmuted. All right. So we've done Google Docs, we've done a Google Sheet. So I'm going to do the same thing with the other productivity application, which is Google Slides, which is like PowerPoint. So in this document, go back to my drive, and I want to share it to the group. If I right click on it, click on share, or I can simply click on get link and it'll give me a link. But I like to go in the share option because I can change the settings of the link. Is shareable link. And I can change it from can view to can edit. Hit done. And then share it to the group. So on this one, on the slide, if you can, add a slide with your hometown and name. So to insert a slide, you would click on insert, or better yet, click on the plus sign and you can add a new slide. That's where it is. So Google Docs, Google Sheets, Slides are your main productivity tools. And again, you have many options to share. If I go back to test documents, and if I hover on the doc, the first document that we did, and in that menu, in addition to share and get a link, I can move to. So if I want to move it to another folder, I can do that. I can add a star to it. And so if I add a star, if I have hundreds of documents in this folder, if I click add star, it will add a star to it. And I would just go to starred and it will be over my starred area. So if there are particular documents, similar to how you would bookmark a document, and then if you want to remove it, you would just come back to the document, right click and hit remove star. So now there aren't any starred documents. I can also, if I expand that menu again, I can rename my file. I can view the details such as the activity, particularly if you're working collaboratively with others, to see who was the last person working within that document. I can make a copy of it, so I can duplicate it. So if I hit make a copy, now I have a copy of that document, and it'll name it by default copy of Google Docs. So I'm just going to delete that. So and then I can download it. If I download a Google Doc, sheet, or a slide, it will download it as a Word, Excel, or PowerPoint file. And then I can also remove it, and it will go into my trash. So now if I click on trash, it has all of the things that are trash. And it will stay here until you right click on it to remove. I can either restore it and it'll go back to the file where it was located, or I can delete it forever and then it'll be permanently deleted. Right, so I'm going to go back to my drive, to my test documents folder. So Google Forms is a great tool or great feature that Google Drive has to offer. So if you want to poll a question or send a survey to a group of people, you can use Google Forms to create a survey very easily, and it will archive the data of the responses for you in a Google Sheet, which is an Excel or an Excel-like document for you to disaggregate your data to go over your responses. So I've created a sample one. I've called it Google Forms example. And so this is the back end of what the form looks like as the person who's creating or manipulating the form. And just like with sheets, docs, and slides, you can share this with another user for you to work collaboratively in creating this form. So I've created one just as an example with a sample question. So this is the title of my form, and I can also change it up here. And so I can give instructions. If I have specific instructions relative to the form, I can place that here. And then this is an example, or here's my sample question. And if I want to edit it, I just click on it, give it the title or edit the title, and then the question type can be changed. So I created this one as a multiple choice, but if I click on the arrow, I have the option to give a question that has text. If I want multiple lines of text in my response, paragraph text, multiple choice. If I want check boxes, if I want them to choose from a list, uh, then I have scale, grid, time, and date as examples of ways to gather data. So this is a question I pose. What is the best primetime television show primetime show on television? So these were choices that I created. So once I'm done, I click done. I can either add another item, or I can duplicate this one, or I can either click on the question or click on the pencil to edit it, or I can delete it. And in the confirmation page, I can give it a special message. By default, it'll say your response has been recorded, and then I always keep show a link to submit another response if I want them to be able to respond again. So how it looks on the user's end, I'm in the area for editing questions. I'm here right now. So then I can click on change theme, and it'll give me the ability to pick a theme. So these are some generic themes here, but you have the ability to edit the theme. So I'm just going to pick a theme. As my sample. So, let's see, I have a couple of questions here. Also on the iPad, you can't get to the document. Okay. So what I'll do is after, if you're on a mobile device and you're still having challenges after the session, then we'll talk beyond everyone logging off, and I can work to assist you with getting to the documents on your iPad. Right. So this is the theme, and I can change my header. By clicking on, where am I? Sorry. Okay, here I am. So now I can click on customize, and now I can change the header image. I can change the title, or I can change the features of the title, such as the color, the font, the orientation, the size of the font. And I can do the same thing for the description, text, the question itself, the help text that appears out to the side as a person is answering the question. And then I can change my form background. It could be a fill color, or I can insert an image, or my page background. So there are a lot of options now that you can use in order to change how your form looks. And then if I want to view my responses, then I can create a spreadsheet where the responses to this question would go. So this works best, or you're able to see it in real time, by me sending out this survey to the group for maybe one or two people to respond, and then you can see the answers in a spreadsheet. So I'm going to click on new spreadsheet, and I'm going to click on create for a new spreadsheet. So now I'll see a spreadsheet for the timestamp when a person answers the question and the responses to that particular question. And then over in my Google Drive, now I have, and it works. Should put it in list view. You're able to see it better. I have my Google Forms example. This purple icon tells me this is a form. And then now I have the form example responses. So this is where a person will put in their answer to the question, and this is where their responses would go. So if I go back to my form and I want to send it out for a person to fill out. So if you're filling out or having people to respond to a survey, you would click on send form and give them a link to share. And you can even, with forms, get a short URL to make the web address shorter. So I'm going to send you a short URL, copy it and paste it in the chat area. And if maybe one or two people can respond, so that you can see how the responses will populate. And now this should work within the browser on an iPad, because there's no Google Forms app, if I'm not mistaken, in the iTunes store. So I click on that. Now you should have in the chat area a link to the form. All right. And again, as you do this, if you have any questions, below your name in the attendees area, there's a hand that you can just click on, and it'll allow you to raise your hand. But I'm going to go over to my response. And so we have two people who have responded to the survey, and automatically their answers, in addition to the timestamp of when they answered the question, come over into the Google sheet under the question. I can move and resize my columns to make it more make it more readable. So I'm going to say Empire. Oh, I need to view the live form. Submit. And just as I answer, the spreadsheet is updated in real time. So this is a great way to send out a survey and get immediate feedback. Lastly, in addition to forms, Google has a tool called Google Drawings. Close that. And Google Drawings is simply an online way for you to create a document that you would put in pictures. You can do drawings if you're on an iPad, and you can use. This is a great collaborative tool for students for them to do artwork. So I placed a picture here of the next place I'd like to go. I put Hawaii for my next vacation. So to add images to a Google drawing, I will simply go to Insert and go to Image, or there's an icon right within the menu for Image. And Google Search is built directly into all of the applications. So if I'm in a Google slide and I want to add a picture to my slideshow, if I click on the image icon, or if I click on Insert and click on Image, then I have the option to search within Google. I can also upload from my computer, take a snapshot. I can paste a URL to a particular picture or albums on in my Google Drive, and I can search my Google Drive in other areas too for pictures. But I'm going to search, and I want to put my picture or the name of the place I like to go. So I'm going to share, and this will be the last share. Get a shareable link. Look at it. Copy it. Send it out. So if you'd like to place a picture of a place that you'd like to visit, if you had an entire week of spare vacation time where you'd like to go, I'm going to put in another place I love, Las Vegas. I'm going to pick it, select it, and drop it on my drawing. So I can make a collage. And so you have a gamut of other tools that you can use in order to manipulate your pictures or to enhance your drawing. And they all go across the bottom, and then they have their menus here across the top. All right, I wonder if that looks like South Beach. And so this is a picture that I'm not manipulating. I'm not placing on the drawing. This is from one of the persons in the class. So again, this shows you the feasibility to collaborate and to do things um, in remote locations, but working within the same document. All right, I'm going to add one more just to make it even. So I have 4. New York City. Probably not around this time of year, but sometime in the summer, I'd like to go. Add that there. All right. So we've explored all of the Google applications. We've explored, and this is again how I get to the area to create a new one. I click on new, and then at the bottom, it starts off with docs, sheets, slides, and if I click on the bottom menu, I can go to forms and drawings. And we've also explored creating folders. If I want to upload a file, I click on new, file upload, and I'm going to upload a file of my own that I have on my desktop. I have a document, a Word document, and a PowerPoint. So I can upload both of them by selecting both, holding down on the control key as I click with my mouse to select both. I click open, and they will both upload as Word and as PowerPoint documents. Now I can view, now that my upload is complete, I can view the document by clicking on it. It'll show me a view of it, but I can't do anything to it. I can't manipulate it. I can't make any changes to it. As I hover over it, I do have the option at the bottom, or at the top rather, to download it, to print it, and share it. I can, if I click on my skinny snowman, I can add a star or rename it, and I can uh, make it as a separate pop out and look at the details, and I can close it. Or if I want to open it as a Google slide, I can change it over into a Google slide and it will make a copy of it for me. So I can either click on open with and it will open with Google Slides, or I can X off of this and I can right click on it and go to open with, and it will give me the option to open with a Google Slides. And what's going to happen, I'll still maintain my PowerPoint document, but it will also create a Google slide. So it will now transform into a Google slide. And once it's a Google slide, now this is a document that I can manipulate online. And the transition usually maintains the formatting of what you imported and changed from a Word or Microsoft document over to a Google document. So now if I go back to my Google Drive, I still have my PowerPoint, and now I have it as a Google document. Same thing with this document called James McDaniel. It's a Word document because of the icon. I can right click, go up to open with, go to Google Docs. Now it will create a copy of it as a Google Doc. If I have a lot of files that I plan to import to my Google Drive that are Word documents, PowerPoints, that I just want to get off of my computer and put them online, and let's say I want to pull them over and as they are imported, automatically make them Google documents. That means I don't want them coming in as Word documents, PowerPoints, or Excel, but I want them to come in directly as a Google Doc, sheet, or slide. In settings, I click on the wagon wheel and I go to settings. There's an option here where it says convert uploads, convert uploaded files to Google Docs editor format. So that it will automatically import as a Google Doc and not as a Microsoft document. And I also have the option, once everything is in my drive, if ever I need to download my entire drive, I can download my drive. I can change my keyboard shortcuts as well in the settings area. So Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a brief tutorial. There are, I'm sure, many other ways of which Google Documents can be used, but this is an introduction to Google Documents. If you have any questions or want to know about further trainings, my website is www.mrfarmersclass.com. I currently serve as an educational technology specialist for Atlanta Public Schools, and information about trainings will be located usually on the main page of my site. And it will give the date and it will give you the option, it should be Wednesday, but it'll give you the option to register for the class online. And then also within the Google Play Store and the iTunes Store, there's an app called Mr. Farmer's Class, which will put what the website does in the palm of your hand on your mobile device. And you can also register for classes and connect and identify and see what's going on with technology in the schools and how it can be used in your personal life. So thank you for your time. And if you have, and on my website too, it has my email address. So let me go back. So yeah, you can see my email address, teacher@mrfarmersclass.com. So feel free to shoot me an email and I will be more than happy to assist you the best way I can. Thank you very much for your time and have a great evening. I'll be in the class for a few more minutes in the event that you had individual questions that you wanted to ask. I know um, there was a question about being able to use the iPad. So if you have any other questions, I will remain in the class for another 10 minutes or so, and I can address any individual questions.